What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day out there. Today, guys, a little shop video I mentioned in the last video. We had the Typhon and the Tekno ET48 out and had an awesome bash with both of these cars. However, we did have a couple breakages. As you can see, we got the rear shock blown out on this one, and I'm pretty sure I either got a major fluid leak, something happening, or I blew the piston out. But I got the shock rod end to fix that part, and then we're going to tear the front shocks off of there, see what's going on with that. But then the most important part here is finding out what's going on with this. Why my whole center diff is just flopping around, as you guys can see here. Teeth are all chewed up, messed up. I don't have one of those gears, so hopefully I can find out what's going on, but I'm gonna have to order one of those gears no matter what. But that's the big thing, is finding out what's going on with that piece, because I had just changed the bearing on it, seemed perfectly fine, but obviously something's still wrong. And also, yeah, my rear drive shaft she's a little tweaked. So got to straighten that out, which is easy. And if I just put a piece of block of wood or something and pound that thing straight again. But first, we're going to work on the Typhon 6S here. Nothing too major with this thing, but I got to get my tire re-glued and find out what's going on with my front shocks, because they're definitely not right. This one side's either blown or the piston's blown apart. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to open up the shocks, re-glue the tire, and go over this thing, and I'll kind of bring you guys back as we're getting something accomplished. All right, well, I got a nice big sloppy bead of super glue down in the rim. Got it nice and deep down in there. Gonna let this sit like this and let this dry. Well, we finished the rest of the repairs on the Typhon. Well, I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. You know, I thought I had changed the oil in these things, but these things still have the stock oil in them. I forgot. I just literally threw these on there and never did anything because I was just trying to test out the front. So I'm going to put in some proper oil, and I'm going to set the springs. Want the springs down most of the way, but I think I'm going to put either 70 or 80 weight in the front also. I know the back has 80, so I think I'm going to do the same thing to the front here and put them back together and see how it feels then. All right, well, I got the first one rebuilt with the 80 weight. Hopefully it's not too heavy, but I'm honestly not that concerned, especially here during the summertime when the temperatures are a lot hotter and the oils are thinner. It should be good. Maybe come the colder temperatures of the year, I might drop that back down a little bit, but we'll see how she runs. Also, guys, this HItec DB961 servo I've been running in the Typhon, the Outcast 4S, and the Tekno. I mean, these servos have just been performing awesome, guys. Been really happy with these. The durability of them has been just spot on. All right, well, got the front end rebuilt on the suspension, and it feels much better now. A lot more plush. It's got some good rebound to it. That was definitely a problem. I completely thought I changed the oil in there, but I didn't. It still had the stock stuff in there. So front suspension feels a lot better now. I went over all of my bolts on everything, made sure everything was tight. I found random things like my wing, my receiver box, and some things like that. I mean, on some of those bashes, I mean, as you guys know, I'm not real easy on this car. You know, if you're just out there running, light bashing, or check, obviously you don't want to throw 80 weight in your front. But as you guys know, this car usually doesn't stay too close to the ground, so definitely needs a little extra suspension. Everything else looked good whenever all my screws on my chassis. And she looks pretty good. I think she's ready for the next bash. So time to move on to the Tekno and find out what weirdness is going on with this center diff. Also, I want to show you guys real quickly on this Radio Link radio. When I was out there running it on the Tekno today, I had a lot of issues with the trigger because it just was too tight. And the minute that I tried to move my finger around, it was causing the trigger. So I put the extended trigger in there, and now you guys can see I got lots of room in there to kind of move my finger around, and it feels a lot more normal. So definitely like the extra trigger option they send you with this. So if you got a little bigger fingers, it still fits in there nicely. Well, I'm going to start from the back and work my way forward, or actually I'm going to work on the suspension stuff since I know I can fix that right now. And then we're going to open up the center diff here. I'll probably pop that case open. We'll take a peek at it before I work on the front suspension. But I'm going to get this thing sitting normal and get the rear shock fixed first. You know, these are the little things the Tekno does that I just love. The fact that they retain the eyelets with the spring perch so that whenever the thing blows apart, pieces don't go flying. It all stays together by a locking screw. Absolutely love this idea and this design. All right, well, the back shock's all back together again. Whenever everything, all the screws on the bottom, made sure everything was tight back here. Next is straightening out this slightly bent rear drive shaft. Couple whacks of the hammer and good as new. Maybe got a very, very, very light twist to it, but for Basher, she's good to go. Well, I started pulling the shocks off the front. This side is broken, and so is this one. Both eyelets on both front shocks are split open, so I guess I got a few more of these to change. Well, I got really lucky. I had 2 shock rod ends left for the Teknos. I just checked the fluid in this one, and it is good, but I've never adjusted the springs, so I'm going to tighten down the spring to give me a little more rebound. I honestly think a lot of what was going on today was simply due to the heat, that the shock oils were just thinning out so much that it was acting different than what I've been used to. Now, I might be crazy on that, but honestly, that's kind of where I'm going, other than all the obvious broken shock parts. All right, we got the front suspension all back together again, got the shock rods replaced. I bled the oil out, or bled the air out of the shocks, and wound the springs down quite a bit more. It's definitely got way better rebound now. They feel really good. Again, I'm not sure what was going on today on why I was getting so much sag. I don't know if it was the temperatures or what was going on exactly. But anyway, she feels great now. She's ready to go on that part now for the interesting part in finding out what's going on with the center differential. Okay, well, I just got the center diff out of here. I was sitting there looking at my diff and trying to see if like the bearings look bad. The bearing looks still okay because I mean this is brand new. It has your normal play slide to side to side there, but everything else felt good. The teeth are definitely chewed up and marked up pretty bad. So I do have to get a new center diff gear, which is no big deal. And then I started looking at the motor mount and everything else and seeing if that looked worn. I mean, there's a little bit of wear in there, just normal stuff. But then I pulled the cage off and I'm looking at it. And as you can see right here, all the plastic is completely worn down and it's not really holding it in there properly anymore, I think is what's going on. If you look at this side, it's got a nice, there's a good shot right there. You can see the other end, most of the plastic is gone. So I think I just found my problem because there's supposed to be ridges coming down here and they're no longer there. So I'm going to get a new center diff gear and obviously a new one of these cages. I might see if they make one of these out of metal or aluminum to make this all, aluminum in here. But as far as I can tell, everything else looks good. And look at this, guys. From this front center brace here was always a problem with bending these drive shafts. And this was after the bash today. And this center drive shaft is still straight as an arrow. So this thing is definitely doing its job and really working nicely. But unfortunately, I think the first time that bearing went bad, it killed this. And I didn't notice this. And I just slapped a new bearing in there. And it helped a little bit. But inevitably, with this plastic, I got to drop it in. When stuff goes down under there, it's gone forever. There's like a troll or something under there that steals stuff, I swear. All right, well, I gave the troll a Red Bull and he gave it back to me. But anyway, this thing is junk and my gear is junk. My pinion gear, honestly, I mean, it's got a little bit of wear on there, but it doesn't look chewed up or anything. So I think the pinion's okay, but I just need the new, center gear here, which is a 44 tooth. So I'm going to go and order one of those and a new cage, and I think we're going to be good to go again. Everything else on it now is in good shape. All the suspension's working, and everything feels good on that. So I just got to get a new center diff put together. She'll be ready to rock and roll again. All right, boys and girls. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start ordering some parts and get this thing fixed up. Go ahead and get these things ordered up. And I don't know if I'm sure most of you guys do have parts trays, but I bought multiples of these things, and it's so nice to be able to tear apart one car, throwing all the parts and screws for it in there, and setting that tray off underneath that car. And then when parts come in for it, you don't have part screws scattered everywhere. I got a couple of them. I think I got 3 or 4 of these total. Really nice to have. But I'm going to order up some new shock ends, too, for this thing to have replacements. Because I try to, and I say try, to keep all the normal, day-to-day braking parts that I have on any of the cars. So I got to order some more of those in. And this little container here is what I take with me when we go out bashing. And I got a ton of extra parts in this thing. Sometimes I forget I have stuff in there when I don't have it on the wall. But anyway, guys, no more yakking. I'm going to get some parts ordered up, and you guys will just see the Tekno out on this next bash. But that's what we're looking at. She should be good to go after I get that stuff changed out. But I hope you enjoyed the little shop video here. But that's going to do it. So until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.